So just take a stretch of choice. So the session is all about hip and back release, but I wanted to mix it up a bit so I can edit and chop. And what I thought this morning is I'll bring in a core ball. We'll have a bit of rolling pins, some tennis balls, and it's just going to be an array of different exercises, but I wanted to give some of you the option who do have the core ball of what it feels like to use another piece of equipment. But I'll always give an alternative as well. So don't panic if you don't have a core ball. And then I'll do some filming on the core ball, some conditioning stuff, so you can start introducing more equipment and maybe ask Father Christmas. Okay, so I'm going to come on to all fours. Those that have a core ball, you can use. I've got one of the smaller ones here this morning. But all on all fours, and I want you to think just about doing cat stretch. So we're just going to lift up and lower down. Now if you've got the core ball, when you release, you can just let your weight sink into the ball, and it obviously just supports you. So you just lift up and then release it down. Here. That's it. So you're just going to lift and then release. Just let your tailbone come up. So you're going to lift and release. One more for me. And then as we sit back into shell pose, knees close, knees wide, let your forearms stay on the ball. So you're just literally resting here. Or obviously without the ball, I can use a block, or you just pop your hands to the floor. So it's a traditional shell pose, but just to feel the difference using the core ball. So we've got weight on the ball at the moment, but then if you take your hands and slide away, longer lever, those of you that are not using the ball, just really stretch your arms out and hold it here. Now, no ball, you're just going to let your left hand go and sit on top of your right hand. If you've got a big ball, put the left hand on the right side on the floor and hold. And then just switch over. So right hand going to sit on top of left, or those with the core ball, you just place the right hand to the left side. We come back up, just wedge back onto all fours, and we just lift and lower, with or without the ball. That's it. So you just cat stretch, and just lifting, releasing. Now here, you can either just come into the smallest ball you can, so imagine shell pose, but grab your heels, or I want you just to wrap yourself over the ball. So you just literally wrap over the ball. Without the ball, you're just coming into a tiny, tiny, as if you're packing yourself into a suitcase. So different options. So you just lay over the ball, just let your body relax. We come up, and then from here, just have one leg come forward. Now, I've just got keeping the ball to the side here, but it's obviously with or without. You're just going to push your hip forward, and then you're going to sit back. So you're just going to push your hip forward and sit back. Can you just check that your front knees still don't go over the toes when you go forward? So move the foot further forward, just to avoid that knee going too far forward. As an option, you can, those with the core ball, wedge in your thigh. So as you lean down, the ball takes your weight. I think this is a wonderful stretch. So really just let my weight drop down. It feels delicious. Just focus on your breathing. One more. That's it. And release it there. So it's going to switch to the other side. All you're doing is just letting the weight come forward. Whether you've got the core ball there or not, you should feel that through the front of your thigh. Having something to hold on to just gives you a little bit of support. That's it. So you're just literally tracking forward with the option of wedging and then just letting your weight rest onto the core ball. And again, be aware of your breathing. So avoid that temptation to hold the breath. Okay, just a couple more. Okay. Now from here, no core ball, I want you to just come into a full body stretch. If you have the core ball, I'm going to give you an option. You may not feel comfortable to do this. I'm a little bit apprehensive doing it while I'm being recorded, but it can always be edited. You're going to lay over your core ball. Now you might not want to do it. Yeah, so it's just a full body stretch. Or you let your ball take your weight, then just let your body just lengthen. And you can just lay here. Now the trick is to hopefully relax with it. But if it's the first time of doing it, you might be a little bit apprehensive and that's not happening. So it's a full body stretch. It's the one where you could pop a bender ball sort of round about your bra strap area. It's just lengthening your spine. Now when you come off, I tend to teach this just to let your weight slide to the floor. Can you just see? Just slide down. Yeah? And then you can just roll yourself off. You can just throw yourself off sideways. That's also possible. Alright? Come back onto all fours. Go back into your cat stretch. And just see how that spine is now feeling. So I can check in that I've already got more range of movement. So I'm just lifting and releasing here. Lifting and releasing. One more. And then sit back into shell pose. You choose your knee positioning. Choose if you use the ball, it doesn't matter. But just sit down into shell. And then you can take your hands to 2 o'clock, with or without the ball, and push your hips over to the left side. And then you just transfer to the other side, over to 10 o'clock. And release it there. Okay, grab yourself a quick drink. We will be lying on our backs, just doing some more thigh and hip release. And I will show you a few exercises with the core ball as well as an option. So there'll be one or the other. I tend to have a frog in my throat this morning. I'm just checking the Wi-Fi. I always jump over to next doors. I don't know why. All right, so if you've got the core ball, you can wrap your legs around. No ball, put your feet to the floor, knees bent. Now let the ball kiss your bum and kiss your thighs and let your feet soften. Now you're just going to go for knee drops. So if you don't have the ball, it's the one where you just let the knees fall to the side. If you've got this ball wrapped under, just let your ball go. Here. Now you might want your hands to go really wide. So you're just gently rocking side to side. And if you can hear the noise, that's the ball, that is not me. And it just gives a nice stretch. But it's letting your legs be supported. Okay. Now, just come into a full stretch so you can, with or without, see what it feels like for those with the core ball to have your legs raised. You can take your arms over, and then all of us, one foot can go over and just pull the wrist to one side, pull the wrist to the other. You can gently just let your legs rock side to side. Those without the ball, it's like the banana shape. You're just moving your legs different positions. And then just switch it over. So other foot on top. Just do a little wrist pull side to side. And then just let your legs rock. Nice and slow. Okay. Now, I want us all to bend our knees, feet flat to the floor. If you've got your core ball, you can just hold it above your chest, just to give you something to have to think about. We're going to come into a figure 4 position. There's your stretch for your hips, outer thigh. And I want you to just then rock side to side. Just to rock side to side. Sit. So by keeping the ball still, you then realise it's just your lower body that should be moving. Without the ball, we just tend to let our whole body just roll. Place a foot down, switch to the other side. Gently just rock. Yeah. That's it. Now, stretch of choice. Then the core ball is going to come back under the legs. Those without the core ball, you just bend your knees, feet flat, and just think what we've just done. If you've got the core ball in position, back into figure 4 stretch, so just pop your foot on and open the knee. So we're all back in figure 4, but just some of us resting on the ball. And then from here, you can rock side to side. Now your supporting leg is like gripping the ball, yeah? Now, option from here could literally be if your ball is small enough to lift off the floor. Those without the ball, it's where your hands go either side of your left thigh and you just lifting the ball up. If you've got a big ball, it's not going to happen. Just release it down, let the other foot come up, figure 4 stretch, and hold. And all together, just back rocking side to side. Side to side. We come to the center. You can stay here, or it's that option for hands to go either side of your thigh, or you can lift the ball and hold. And then relax it there. Okay. Just stretch of choice. I think it feels lovely to do legs on ball and just rock side to side. You might need to curl into a ball, so whatever you need to do. Now we're going to place the balls away. If you've got tennis balls, I want you to grab and we're going to place them on our bottoms. So think about your big glute muscles. So you just go to the middle of your buttocks, one ball on either side. You can do just one side at a time. So if you do find it is particularly painful, and I just want you to keep moving the tennis balls till you feel your hot spot. So for me, I tend to go in and up slightly, and I sort of, it finds a position where I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm there. Now my feet are to the floor, and I can feel this today. But if you can, or you have a pain threshold that likes a deeper feeling, there's no reason that you can't lift a foot off the floor. So more weight is actually pressing onto the tennis balls. You could lift both feet off the floor. So you literally could guide up and hold and gently rock here. You know, it's strong, that is pressing deep. It's like a deep, deep massage here. So you're just choosing where you need to place the tennis balls, but it's on your glutes. I always say the further you can get away from sort of that sciatic roots, the better, because you just want to work into the muscle, in particular more the piriformis, because it attaches up there. Now, my feet are down, and I'm going to just think pelvic peels. But I'm really on the peel. Where we concentrate on the lift up, I'm concentrating on the push down. So I'm like deliberately pushing my tailbone into the floor, and I can really feel the tennis balls going deep. So I'm doing a little tuck under. That feels nice, off their balls. And then as I go down, I'm tucking, 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 pressing. And I'm like letting my weight drop on the tennis balls. And then I'm doing a little rub movement. So, you know, like the rocking side to side. See what it feels like. We'd call this in massage vibration. I'm just letting my hips move side to side. I'm exaggerating it at the moment. You don't even have to do that much. But you could also just press down and up. And then I would recommend move the tennis balls another inch. Find your new hot spot. And just stay there again. So I'm just letting my weight rock backwards and forwards, and then side to side. And you are simply just self-massage into your glutes. You can do the lift, and you can do it down. Woo! You can do the lift. And what will happen is you'll feel that sensation to start, and then it should ease. If it's painful, take it away, obviously. Remember the good old knee drops? Owie, owie. So you can slowly come down. And obviously just work both sides. Oh dear. I'm having to breathe on this side. See? And then I want you to take the tennis balls away. Have a stretch of choice, but I would recommend things like knees in, knees wide, and the traditional outer thigh stretch. So just see, has it given any release? And this will be outer thighs, back side, but also into your lower back. Now, if you really wanted to check, you might want to come up onto all fours and do the cat stretch, do the shell pose. But hopefully, by releasing off through your glutes, you've just helped ease that lower back. Okay. So far, so good. Are we all okay? Oh, I was definitely a bit tight on that right side this morning. Right, now we're going to have a look at doing the IT band, and I don't think we have done that before, particularly definitely not online. Your IT band is the one that runs on your outer thigh, and it can be really, really tender. So what I think we'll do is if we come up seated, and I'm just going to get you to use your fingers and sort of rub up it, then I'll get us into a side lie position. Those of you that have hip discomfort, we're not around the actual hip joint, we're actually working the muscle, but the muscle runs to a tendon, and you can literally, for me, if someone presses on it, I can really get a sharp response. So just be gentle when you are working this area. But let me just take you through slowly, and then we'll go from there. So just have one leg, so you just slightly sort of sit to the side, so you've got the side of your thigh, you can access it, yeah? And I just want you to get your fingers and just sort of rub up the side, sort of just from the side, just by the knee, and just sort of rub up. Just do that a couple of times, yeah? So you're just rubbing. Oh, I just felt something there. Then I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm just going to literally shake up. Oh, yeah. So I can feel that. Okay, do that a couple of times. So you're just rubbing. And just notice, so I've got a hot spot around about here that feels very uncomfortable. And then there's something else up here. Just go one more time, rub it up. Yeah, so mine's right there. And then I'm just pressing and I'm rubbing. And you might feel like waves of heat. Some people feel even quite nauseous because it's like waste products, and then it's released into your circulation, hence to drink plenty when you do this. Now, I'm going to go tennis ball and rolling pin. You could use your rolling pin and just literally roll up your thigh. Ooh! There you go, there's my hot spot. So I'm just rubbing, rolling here. Yeah, you could use your rolling pin. Now, remember always going up towards the heart, you've got a lymph node up here, so I would put my rolling pin down and I would drag it up. And then I'd release, and then I'd go back. Now you might just do a small movement, release, small movement, release. There's a hot spot for me, and release. Yeah? Some people get their thumb and really press in deep. Oh, there's a spot. Yeah, so I have definitely got a little owie area round about here. So you just pressing your thumb in and you will like, ow, okay? You could gently, do be aware of obviously varicose veins and stuff. Just gently pat. I always say pat on your meat. Tender in your meat top. Yeah, just pat and you're stimulating blood flow. Pause there. Bring your feet together. Obviously we've done a lot of heat one side. Yeah? So we're just checking. You can bring legs across. Come forward. Yep, so you're just seeing, we've been focusing on one side. You can bring that leg across, so the leg you've been patting, and turn into it. Yeah? Just little check-ins. Let's have a go on the other side. So just slightly turn yourself into a position so it's comfortable to access your outer thigh. And then you just literally run your fingers. I always say check in first. So if I was massaging someone, I always just do like a finger pressure check, because people go, oh my God, that really hurts. And I'm like, I'm only rubbing my fingers on that area, but it can be really tender. So just rub. Then think the little, what I call vibrations, side to side, travel up. Side to side, travel up. So my area on this side is higher up, but there's a little hot spot. Now grab your tennis ball. And then just either roll. You can just go straight to the rolling pin if you know that's what you prefer. But I tend to find with the rolling pin, you can really work it all the way over. And those little spiky balls work really good. And you're just rolling. Yeah, so this is much lower down and further up than the other side. And you're just playing detective. You're finding your hot spot. And then you can move on. Ooh. Remember, short strokes or just one long. I've actually got a little bit of sweat come on my brow. Oh, I'm definitely generating some heat here. And then tenderise your meat. So give it a bish bosh. Okay, all right. Do your check-ins. Soles of your feet together. Just open. Cross your legs. Just lean forward. Yeah. So you just lean in, seeing how that feels. And then the leg that you've just been working, we take it across and then just turn and hold it there. And step. And then we release off. Okay, good. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to bring you lying down into traditional stretch, and then give some of you the option to just use the tennis ball and the rolling pin just to see what that feels like. You're going to need your bender ball, and you will need tennis ball for those that want to use it. You want to aim to do the leg that you've done first, if that makes sense. So, first of all, from here, you're going to bring the knee up to the chest, slide the other leg away. Imagine someone is pulling on the ankle of that lengthened leg and really pull that knee into the chest. You do have the option of taking that leg across the side. And then here is that outer thigh stretch. So just let that knee come across your body where it's comfortable and just hold. There we go. Now I want you to aim to keep your head, your neck, your shoulders in position. And just breathe here. Now what we're going to look for is this knee to be supported. So you're going to have to roll your hips round. You're going to look to place the tennis ball. So I've come slightly over onto the side. So I'm just now going to let my knee rest. Now you could use like a load of pillows. might need to put blocks under there, so you could, you know, literally ideally stack up and be supported. So if I was massaging someone, I'd just roll up towels until their knee is supported, because then the leg is on stretch, but you're not going to put any strain on the knee joints or hip joint. Now for some of you, you might really feel that stretch now. So you could just do exactly the same as we did seated, but this is where obviously you've got to get yourself in a position where you're comfortable to perform. And you're just now rolling up. And you can probably guess, you could travel your tennis ball over, you can feel your hip joint, and then in, and there's a little slot where you sit when we're working on our piriformis. So you can literally travel up the IT band all the way, and then all the way in to your hot spot. Now with the rolling pin, obviously this is where it becomes a little bit more tricky. And this is where it's better if it's someone else doing it for you. Yeah, but you could bish bosh on that area. And you can come, obviously, onto your bottom. And remember, all of this is going to help your lower back and your hips. All of these are muscles that are touching up onto this pelvis area. Now, ideally, what you would do is a check-in. So you could lay on your back and you could go figure 4, you could do outer thigh stretch, you could come seated and do those movements. But you just want to see how the leg feels before you then move on to the other side. Okay? So obviously doing this at home, take your time, check in, see how it feels. But for the purpose of this morning, just bring your opposite knee up and just slide that leg away. Remember, you can really lengthen the leg and pull your knee up. You might want to take that long leg over. And then that bent knee is going to come across for traditional outer thigh stretch. And then we want to support the weight. So just let that knee come over. Get my equipment. So when it's feeling supported, you just take your tennis ball and rub. Those of you that do have the spiky balls, you can imagine that obviously if you had a ball with those little spikes on, how different it would feel. Remember, you can run over to your buttock. It's really important to breathe with this as well, because you tend to hold the breath. And then you can do your outer thigh. So you can roll it, you can bash it. And you're just noticing what side feels different. So I know for me, my left thigh has got some tightness, but it's my right glute, my buttock, lower back, that's got some limited movement. And then release it there and just come into a stretch of choice. Now I will take you just through out of 5 and then long lever stretch. So you might want to use a band, you might want to use your Pilates ring, you may be happy just to hold your own leg. But just have a moment, just get some feeling back into those legs. And they do sometimes feel like they're not yours after you've finished. Ooh. As an option, you might want to lay on your bender ball just to get those hips elevated. But just one leg up to the ceiling and you're simply just going to hold and support. Doesn't matter if you bend that knee, but just let your head, your neck, your shoulders relax. And just slowly breathe in and slowly breathe out. Now you can just let that leg open gently to the side, but focus more on coming across to the other side. That's it. And then just place it down and just take the other leg up. So just hold it. Hold it there. You can just let the leg open. And you can take across to the other side. And then come into a stretch of choice. Just stretch, release. If you have a blanket at hand, grab. If you want to spray any incense, by all means. And I just invite you to find a comfortable position as I just do some focused breath work to end the session. So just make sure that you're seated or lying comfortable for you. I want you to tightly close the eyes and to clench the hands and to press the heels away. And take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, just let everything release. And just feel your body relax. And I want us to scan from the head and just check where you may hold some tension. So is there any tightness across the front of the head? Can you feel a slight pull between the eyebrows? Can you let those eyes just soften? You might even visualize them just sinking back in the head. That jaw, are those teeth tight together? Can you slightly just relax that bottom jaw? Can you feel those cheeks relax? Which then just allows those neck muscles to soften. You may need to just let your chin come down to the chest. And gently just realign. And just to move the head from side to side. Are you holding your tightness in the shoulders? If so, can you retract the shoulders and open the chest? And then release. And repeat that for 4 times. So you're really just drawing the shoulders back, lengthen the neck, and then release. All the time, just to be aware of your breathing. I invite you to tightly close the eyes, to clench the hands, to press the heels. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And just let your body soften. Just feel that body sink in deeper back. If you can still feel that tightness in the shoulders, really draw your arms away from your body. You may want to just move the hands in different positions as you move those shoulders away, so you're pulling the shoulders away from the neck as you lengthen the arms. Just let the upper body relax. And just take a couple of breaths and just visualize on the inhale, your core expands. And as you exhale, allow your body to release. We go again, deep breath. On the exhale, allow your body to release. So moving on to the lower body, just clench your backside and release. And just feel the muscles soften. And repeat that for 4 times. So just clench and release. Each time, just feel the weight sinking deeper back. Allow the body to relax. Now you may need to just gently tilt the hips from side to side or up and down. So you are just mobilizing and releasing the tailbone, keeping the movement small as the body relaxes some more. And we take that all the way down to the feet. And you may want to just press the heels and release. You may want to just circle the ankles and just visualize any tightness traveling down and out through the toes, and just to leave your body, allowing you to just truly relax. The joints and the muscles just to feel lighter and released. And then from here, we take a deep breath in. As you exhale, I just want you to wiggle your fingers, to wiggle your toes, to open your eyes and come into a stretch of choice. Now take your time in coming up to seated.